Welcome to No Fugazee podcast. State your name, where you from?
I'm Princella, the Queen Maker. I'm out here in Houston, Texas.
All right, Princella, the Queen Maker, out here in Houston, Texas. So Princella reached out to my team and was like, hey, I want to do a show. I'm like, okay, well, I do debate nights on Wednesdays and I do, the girl shows on Fridays. Let's do a debate. So we got it. We made it happen. Okay, Princella, let's get a little bit of your background. What do you do? Anything you want the audience to know about yourself, you can go ahead and, speak about your background now.
Oh, yeah, sure. Well, I'm a life coach, women's empowerment, and I'm the author of a book called 41 Shades of Men, The Pursuit to Subdue and Use You. Also, Love, Men, and Manipulation Decoded Workshop. So I have a background in biology, psychology, human behavior, and things of that sort. And so I teach through those mechanisms.
Okay, cool. And you said, so you have a background in, you said biology?
Yes.
Okay. And you have your degree in that?
Nope.
No degree. Have you ever worked in any fields with practicing in any biology or anything, or no?
No, just the labs at school. However,
Just the labs at school.
yeah,
Okay.
my main focus is psychology. So, given psychology background mainly, I've been in sales, top sales in every industry I've ever sold in. So, on top of that, human behavior. So I've been analyzing that for about 25 years. So, no, I don't need a degree for that. I put in over 10,000 hours in each one of these subjects. So I think I'm pretty good to go.
Okay, fair enough. I just wanted to know exactly what you did since you stated that you are a specialist in biology and psychology. I want to know if you had any degrees and stuff like that. Okay, cool. So the topic for today, everyone that's watching, is going to be patriarchy versus matriarchy and what is best for society, which is a net negative or net positive for society. And Princella, I'm going to go ahead and leave it to you. I believe that you will be on the side of defending the matriarchy. So go ahead and if you want to go ahead and give an opening, now's your time.
Well, that's an actual incorrect assumption because I believe that there needs to be a combination of the two. The reason for that is because male and female have both different natures. And a male has to be in a patriarchal setup because that is what his biology is designed to be under. However, in order to facilitate growth and sustainability for the planet, an egalitarian system is much more conducive for the planet, society, and communities. When you're under a patriarchal system, what you have is complete dominance, which actually creates a whole host of issues that can be analyzed throughout nature.
Okay. So you said that, men and women think that we need both a patriarchy and matriarchy system. But then you went to say that we need a system that's not actual, patriarchy. It should be egalitarian.
It has to be a combination of the two. So one
It
thing
has to be a combination of
it
the
has
two.
to be a
Go ahead and explain. So I got a question for you. So egalitarianism, I mean, the communists tried that and it failed. So why would you take on that idea to try to equalize everything when male and females aren't equal?
Well, that's not what egalitarianism means, and this is
Okay, yeah, that's what I was going to say. Well, that
again,
is the definition of it, but what's your
again,
definition of it?
again, there needs to be a combination of the two. Now, what do I mean by combination of the two? Do you agree that males and females should be educated in two different setups at schools? Boys should have their own schools and girls should have theirs. Do you agree with that?
No.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is a problem because males and females are different and they cannot be trained the same. So, if you believe that males and females are different, then why would you advocate for something that does not facilitate the difference between the two?
Yeah, so you said that, do I believe that, male and females should have the same schooling?
No,
Well,
separate schooling. Separate schooling.
separate schooling. Okay,
Yes.
separate schooling. I said no. I said no because you didn't give me more information. The reason
Well,
being is because if we're going from kindergarten to all of elementary school to middle school to high school, then to college. At the end of the day, currently the system is what it is right now, where it's both male and female. They are in school together. So you're saying that, okay, fair enough. Would you say that it's failing for women? There's more women that has education, that's getting higher education than men. So is it failing for women and for men?
That is because the school systems are more designed to facilitate females. So, and they're not designed to facilitate males, hence why the males are failing. And so they need separate schooling. If that wasn't the case, then you wouldn't have Dr. Umar up here running around speaking about making a boys' school. So at the end of the day,
so I could agree with that part of it. So you're saying that, well, here's my stance on it, right? Stats show that women currently right now with the current system, they're getting higher education than males, right? So I can agree that there should be some changes with the school system. Now, that doesn't mean that we need to separate both male and female from the school. Oh, you get what I'm saying? So we can make changes in the school.
So we don't need to have a boys' school?
Well, let me finish. There are all girls schools and there are all male schools, but let me just finish. So you said that, well, I think that what's best is that we have a separation of the two. Currently, our system definitely needs to be updated. Our education system does need to be updated, where, they have better systems in place that is more suitable for men. That part I do agree with. I don't agree with the fact that we need to fully separate the two. That's the part I don't agree with. So that's different. You get what I'm saying? But okay, go ahead. You're good. You wanted to make a point?
Males and females have completely different brain wiring, and they need their own schools and setups to facilitate their natures. Now, if we are dealing in truth and reality, then we can agree that there is a difference between the two. And the current setup is causing a lot of dysfunction between both parties. So clearly, a patriarchy is not working either because it is failing, because the United States itself is a patriarchal system.
Got you. So let me just ask you a question, because my stance is this. It sounds silly that you're making a big claim to say, hey, the system isn't working with men and women being in school together. Instead of fixing the problems that's in that school, let's just separate the two. Would you use this same logic to a relationship? People have relationships, both men and women, and they're in a relationship, and there's problems in that relationship, in the household. Would you use that same logic and say that men and women need to be separated from the home?
I absolutely would, because based on the studies, it doesn't matter if you don't like that. The first question is this:
okay.
Are we looking for a solution to a problem, or are we looking to just go back and forth about who's right and who's wrong? Because what I just presented to you was a fact about the difference between males and females. Now, can we agree that there is a major difference between males and females? Yes or no?
Yeah, but correlation doesn't equal. So you're trying to correlate something and say, well, male and females are different. Like, this is the cause of our differences. And you're trying to correlate that to, well, since we are different, we shouldn't have relationships, male and female, even living in the same home, or male and female even being taught in the same school.
No,
that doesn't make sense to me. So I have a question for you.
Okay.
If you don't mind.
If you don't mind, if I ask you.
Okay, sure. Go ahead.
Question.
Yeah, go ahead. You ladies first.
I'll
be a gentleman.
If there is a difference, just like there's a difference in each child, and they need to be taught differently, because what works for one does not work for all. If you understand that, then we understand that even smaller classrooms that focus more on individuals work better than classrooms with a lot of individuals that learn differently. Do you agree with that?
Okay, that still doesn't correlate to separating the genders. So we all know the truth about
training. We're talking about training people differently. And if males
understand that. Yeah.
and learn differently, because males need more physical activity. This is a fact. This is not something, and as a male, I don't even understand why you would be disagreeing with that.
Yeah, no, you're not. You're missing the point that I'm disagreeing with. So let me state my position against your position, right? Mm-hmm. The disagreement is this. You're saying that, well, men and women are different. I agree. Everyone knows that. Any person in their right mind knows that, right? Mm-hmm. Since men and women are different, it causes problems when we are either being educated together or if we are in a relationship together. So since there are problems in school and in relationships, we should separate the two, meaning removing the man and the woman in different schools and removing the man and the woman into separate homes. My position, that's your position. My position is that that's illogical. What we should do, right, is actually work on our differences. So you stated something that, well, you know, like the slow classes and stuff. Well, you know, the slow classes are with people that need some extra help. It'll be an extra teacher, or they'll minimize how many kids can be in a school. I mean, how many kids can be in that class. So instead of having 20 students, it'll be 10 students and 2 extra teachers, right? And that would produce more help. I would agree. That does produce more help.
I'm online.
You good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. I would agree that does produce more help, but you still wouldn't have to separate the genders to get that done. You can still keep the genders in the same school to get that done. You get what I'm saying? So let's say if there's currently how it is now, males and females are in school together. Let's say if the boys are behind because of they need some, we got more testosterone, so we need a longer gym. Or we need, certain different games in a classroom to keep us focused, whatever it may be. I'm not a teacher or anything, right? But let's say if there's something that we need currently in society, which I do agree with, since there are more women, graduating college than there are men, obviously it does need, the education system does need some change. I'm just saying that it doesn't need the change that you're speaking about, the change of completely separating the genders. We can still do it in the same school, but just change up the systems that we currently have. Does that make sense? Instead of you could speak, go ahead.
I just want to make sure I can speak. Okay. Now, you said what I said is illogical. Are there any examples of any religion, culture, or school of thought that implements a separation between the genders? Any?
Your question is there any schools or I don't understand the question.
No. You said that what I said is illogical. All right.
Correct. Because
because I'm giving you every opportunity to speak, but you keep cutting me off. Now, remember, the rules were you let me land my plane, I let you land yours, and I'm doing exactly what you said.
But you asked me a question and you didn't want to answer, so I was going to answer your question. No. Okay, so complete your question and then I'll speak. Go ahead.
Okay. Are there any examples anywhere in the world that roll by a school of thought to separate the genders anywhere in the world?
Is there any, let me just make sure I got the question right. Is there anywhere in the world that deals with in schools, that's what we're speaking about, where they separate the genders?
Anywhere.
Anywhere. Mm-hmm. I mean, are you speaking about, so let me get some clarification to the question.
Because if
I don't really understand the question, to be honest.
If I'm illogical, then there would be no institution, no country, anywhere that will facilitate a practice of separating the genders, giving the genders their own spaces. Because if there you go. That's a more clear question. Of course, yeah. So there's many things where they separate the genders. We got different bathrooms, different locker rooms, different sports, multitude of different things. Schools, because this idea where you're saying that I'm illogical to separate males and females out of schools is illogical on your part because they do exist. Okay. And so even in the Nation of Islam, they literally separate them, they put them on two different sides of the entire the church, whatever you call it, the mosque. Okay, you have schools where you have all boys schools and all girls schools. Okay, so this idea that what you're saying is that I'm illogical it's really just an intellectual bash. It's a play. It's a lower on my intelligence, which I don't like that. What I'm trying to do is have an intelligent conversation with you based on things that actually make sense. And the one thing that absolutely makes sense is the fact that men and women are different, which means that they are oil and water. And one thing about oil and water is it does not mix. That is a fact. And with males and females mixing, guess what? It is eternal chaos. And you all have been having the same conversations for the last 15 years without a single solution to your conversation. Okay. So obviously, what you all are talking about online ain't working. So, what I'm doing is proposing a different solution that does not sound cookie cutter and just it's a whirlwind of trauma and trash. Okay. So there needs again to be a combination of the two, matriarchy and patriarchy, because the male is wired for dominance. He cannot be in a situation that does not allow for a dominance hierarchy. You all need that. So you can't get rid of patriarchy. As long as you have men, there will be a patriarchy. Okay. So I don't know what conversation you were looking for, but I'm a person of solutions. I'm not here to debate you. I'm here to have a conversation with you, sir.
Yeah. So to get some clarification. So you're speaking about, you're making a micro. So you're speaking about schools and you're saying, well, there's problems when males and females are in school together so that's a macro. Then you speak about micro. You say that, oh, well, you asked me a question, where has there ever been schools and, in these schools, do they separate the boys and the girls? That's on a macro level. So on a macro level, yeah, we have different locker rooms. On a macro level, yeah, we have different sports. On a micro level, yeah, we have different, bathrooms and different locker rooms. On a micro level, yeah, we play different sports. On a macro level, right? On a macro level, there are currently already all girls schools. There are currently already all boys schools. And those schools they do what they need to do. On a macro level, you're proposing, right, to have only boys schools and only girls schools. Not only that, you're proposing to have males and females, husband and wife, live separately. Do I have that correct?
Let me ask you this question, because there is
wait.
Whoa. There is a
Just
such
answer
thing,
that question, though.
sir. There is a such thing as living apart together. And those relationships have found to be much more healthy than those who cohabitate. Okay.
I
Seldom
don't
does
have
it,
any evidence on that. You don't
and
have any evidence
no,
on that.
actually, I do, because
Answer the
there
question.
is research on it.
I got it.
So,
Princella, answer the question.
sir,
Just
I am,
answer the question
sir,
so we have it clear.
Sir, I'm answering your question. Separatism is the key, because men and
Got
women
it. Because
have
we don't
differences.
mix.
You don't mix.
Okay, got it.
Show
Okay,
me the
so
evidence where y'all are working without chaos.
you say
show
we
me
don't
the evidence. That's
we
all
don't
you gotta
mix.
do.
Princella, look in the mirror. Your mother and your father created you. We mix.
Through laying
When
on
I
their
look in the
back.
mirror, my mother and my father created me. We mix. What I'm telling you is that,
reproduce,
no,
sir.
what I'm telling you is that we all have differences. The
Roaches
thing is,
reproduce,
you want
sir.
to run away from differences. What happens is when women get in leadership positions, they want to break up things. They want to separate things. That's why when a woman is leading the relationship, if she's leading, it will be the end of that relationship. She will cause separation. When a man is leading, he does not cause separation. he keeps it together. So at the end of the day, what you're speaking about, that we don't mix, that's nonsensical. It doesn't make sense from a biological. You said that you're a biologist. So how can you even speak about that? We don't mix. We mix perfectly. What are you talking about? It's the perfect mix.
Sir, can we have a logical discussion?
We've been having a logical discussion,
this is not,
but you've been speaking
sir,
some nonsense about we don't mix.
I'm going to ask you to stop being childish just one time. Let me
No
tell
one's
you-
being
let me-
childish.
let me
I was
say this.
speaking.
Let me say.
I
let me-
fully let you speak and complete your thought out.
No,
and
what
then
I'm
I just
saying-
rebutted it.
I'm trying to figure out what you think is mixing, because what you just said is the activity of a virus. Okay.
Got
see,
it. So,
virus, sir,
Princella, you
sir,
just said something
sir.
that, well, you have data
Okay,
that
I
there
tell
are
you what,
relationships.
I tell you what, you go ahead and talk, and I will just sit
Cool.
here
Yeah.
and look
Listen
at
to
you.
this real quick. Listen to
No,
this.
I'll listen to you.
You said something. You said that I have data that men and women in relationships, when they are separated from the house, they actually thrive in it, and it does real good. I have more data than you have, because there are many marriages, male and female, living in a home, and they thrive and do amazing. Actually, we have facts on it. A nuclear family with a man and a woman and children living in the home, they do good. Single mother households leads to degeneracy. So what are you speaking about? Now, you can say that, well, there can be it could be fully separated, living in a separate home, and then the kids go to this home at some point, and the kids go to that home at some point. That's not healthy for the kids. My standpoints would say, I would say that that's not healthy for the kids. But anyways, actually, I got a question for you about this, because you spoke about egalitarianism. How does all of this tie into egalitarianism and making things equal? Because that was your main point. So how does this tie in? So are you saying that the separation makes us more equal?
You can just sit up here and just ask questions to the wall, Fugazee, because you're being real Fugazee right now. And so when you're done talking and you're ready to let me ask you some questions and talk logically, I will engage with you.
Well, no, I've been active listening to everything you're saying. Remember, when you spoke, I asked you a question. You gave your little stance. You gave your stance, and you said, well, I think that the patriarchy and the matriarchy should be mixed, and it should be egalitarianism. And that's what I questioned you on. And then you brung it to school and stuff like that. And then I'm like, well, now my question for you is, how does all of this make things equal?
First and foremost, sir, I don't even preach equality, because men and women.
Well, you said egalitarianism.
Sir. Do you want me to drop here? Because one thing I'm not going to sit up here and do is have you interrupt me every 2 seconds, every time I say a single word. Okay. So you're going against your own rules. All right. So I'm not going to sit up here and deal with no child. Now, you either going to talk to me like an adult. All right. All right. You're going to talk to me like an adult, and you're going to have an intelligent conversation, or we can just end this right now. Okay?
I just have simple questions for you. That's all.
What you're doing is interrupting me every time I say just a word. Okay. And so this is not a conversation. See,
you know what? I'll let you speak. I'll let you speak, and you could go ahead and get it all out, and then let me know can I ask you a question?
Well, you've
How about
been
that?
asking a million questions back to back. So why don't you go ahead and do that? Okay. And then I'm just going to be quiet and let you run the show, because that's what you want to do. All right. Go ahead.
Well, are you actually going to answer my questions or no?
I don't know what you asking me, because every time I get ready to answer you, you cut me off.
That is untrue. I've actually been looking for an answer to some of my questions, but it's okay. I'll do it. Let's do it this way, right? So I'll let you go ahead, and I'll write the questions down real quick so I don't forget.
Everybody can see that you're not letting me speak. I'm just saying, everybody can see that you're not letting me speak.
I'll let you speak, but here's how we'll do it. I'll write my questions down so I have it. But okay, we're speaking about patriarchy and matriarchy, and you said that it's better when it's mixed, a little bit of both. You also said that, well, I think that it should be egalitarianism. The definition that I have of egalitarian is a person who believes in equality of all people. So my question is, How does all of this lead to equality if you want to separate the genders in all facets, in the school and at the home?
Sir, life is about equity. Okay? Life is about equity and not equality. However, when you're dealing with people, you have to give everybody.
Sorry.
Okay.
That's a red herring. You just moved away from.
You see what
I
I'm
said
saying?
you said
I don't got time.
egalitarianism, not what we're speaking about. You said equity. That's something totally different.
I do not have time for this, sir, because every time I start talking, you interrupt
Yeah, but
me.
you tried to commit a red herring. Look, she off of here, bruh. Hey, chat, we do it live. Listen, this is what happens when you have logical discussions with women and they don't know what they're speaking about, bro. She had no idea what she was speaking about. She didn't know where she wanted to go with the conversation. And I just caught her in her tracks. Like, what are you speaking about? You said egalitarianism. Egalitarianism is a person who believes all things should be equal. Then just in that split moment, she says, well, equality, I don't believe in equality. I believe in equity. That's a red herring. You're moving, and one, that's a lie. And then two, that's a red herring. You're trying to like move away from the main topic. Like, this is what happens where she actually gets her points critiqued by a logical individual. And the crazy thing is, I made 0 ad hominem attacks. 0 ad hominem attacks, bro. I didn't make not one ad hominem attack. When I said illogical, I said that's an illogical statement. Never said that she was illogical. So, man, let's see what the chat's saying. Let's get in here. So if you like that clip and you want to watch more, click right here. But if you want to watch the full episode, click right here.